Hello folks, this is Abhinay Gupta welcoming you to the Wikipedia world. Today we'll continue with the topic Accounts of Companies. In our previous lecture we have already seen section 128 of the Companies Act 2013. We have seen the entire section in detail. The section dealt with the location, manner, period of maintenance and inspection of the books of accounts. And we have also seen what financial statement is, what are the various contents of the financial statement. So today we move ahead to section 129, which deals with the financial statements. So first of all we would see the legal requirements of this section, the legal requirements of section 129. As per section 129, the financial statements shall give a true and fair view of the state of affairs of the company. And they also specify that the financial statement shall comply with the accounting standards that have been notified by the central government. And this is also the requirement of section 133. We'll deal in detail with the accounting standards, its various aspects, its approval, its recommendation and stuff in section 133. And if your financial statements, they do not comply with the accounting standards, you will have to give 3 disclosures. First is if they do not comply, that means there is a deviation. So please specify the deviation from the accounting standard. You will have to specify that these are the requirements of accounting standard that has not been met, and accordingly or instead of that we have done this. Then you will also have to justify your step with a valid reason. You will have to give a valid reason for the deviation. And along with that, the Act also wants you to give out the financial effect of the decision that you have taken, of the path that you have followed. Right? So when you deviate from the accounting standard, you will have to show the deviation, the reason and the financial effect. Right? And the financial statements, they also have to be in a form that is specified by Schedule 3. So Schedule 3 gives out the form and of the manner in which you prepare your financial statement. Right? And the Act also says, section 129, it also says that if a company has one or more subsidiaries, then that particular company, the parent company, is also required to prepare a consolidated financial statement. And that will be in the same form and same manner of its own. That means the form and manner that the parent company is applying for its own financial statement, they will apply the same form and manner for the financial statement that they will be preparing on the consolidated basis. And for this purpose, subsidiary will include associates and joint ventures. So you know what associate means? Associates, or you can say an associate company, is a company which has a significant influence on the other company. Right? It is somewhere like it holds 20% of the shares of the company. If that is the case, they'll have a significant influence. And you already know what joint venture is. Joint venture is a coming together of 2 different companies or entities for economic activities. They prepare a joint venture for a particular economic activity, and when that activity is over, the joint venture comes to an end. So it's a venture for that particular economic activity. So for the preparation of consolidated financial statement, subsidiaries would include, in its meaning, the associates and joint venture, which means if a company has a joint venture with some other company, then while they prepare the financial statements at the end of the year, they will also have to prepare a consolidated financial statement along with the joint venture. And all other provisions also that relates to the preparation, adoption, audit of financial statement of the holding company will apply as it is on the consolidated financial statements. So these were the legal aspects of the section. What the law asks, what the law demands. Section 129 subsection 1 gives out the non-applicability of this section. The non-applicability of this section will rest upon a banking company, an insurance company, a company which is engaged in the generation or supply of electricity. These 3 companies are specified because banking company is governed by the Banking Regulation Act, insurance by the Insurance Act, IRDA stuff. Right? So these companies, they already have an act that govern their preparation of financial statements. So Companies Act 2013, section 129 will not apply on these companies. And other class of companies for which a form of financial statement has been specified in the particular act that governs that company. Section 129 also says that the financial statement that the company has prepared, along with the consolidated financial statement that it has prepared with its subsidiaries, if any, will have to be laid down before the shareholders in an annual general meeting. Right? That is where the financial statement and consolidated financial statements are displayed to the shareholders of the company. Now we'll see what we actually mean by a consolidated financial statement. So we know consolidated financial statement would be a normal financial statement, but encompassing all its subsidiaries. All the activities, the transactions of the subsidiaries will be clubbed together with the holding company and shown as one. Right? So what are the legal aspects that section 129 says about consolidation? It says that the consolidated financial statement, which is required to be laid in the AGM along with the normal financial statement, that shall be prepared in the same manner and in the same form as the original financial statement is prepared. And the central government may provide some other manner for the preparation of consolidated financial statement. That is the power given to the central government. They may specify for any company or any class of company. Along with this, for consolidation, you'll have to refer Rule 6 of the Companies Accounts Rule 2014. Right? Now what does that say? If we look into it in a very brief manner, then we see that Rule 6 specifies what will be applicable on the consolidated financial statement. So far what we have seen is, it will be in the same form, same manner as the original financial statement. So over here, it specifies that it will be prepared as per Schedule 3 and as per the applicable accounting standard. Now, Rule 6 also says that the consolidated financial statement, the application, will not affect any intermediate wholly owned subsidiary, but it will affect the wholly owned subsidiary whose immediate parent company is incorporated outside India. Right? Now, Section 129 also demands that we include a statement that will contain the salient features of the subsidiaries. It will be a separate statement accompanying the financial statement, and that will be governed by the Rule 5 of the Companies Accounts Rule 2014. And Rule 5 also prescribes a form, which is Form AOC1 for this purpose. Right? So now we look out forward to the exemptions given in Section 129. So the power to exempt any company from Section 129 vests with the central government. The central government may give out a notification in the official gazette exempting any company, any class or any classes of company, like from the application of the provisions of Section 129. And it may do so either on its own motion or on an application from the particular class or classes of companies. And it will always do so considering the public interest. And the exemption may or may not be conditional. Like it can be granted either conditionally or unconditionally. It depends on the central government and also the cases and circumstances. And also we already know that financial statements will be accompanied by the notes, the explanatory notes. So with the application of Companies Act 2013, the burden on the face of the financial statement is lowered. Like you don't have to give too much of details on the face of the financial statement, on the face of the balance sheet and P&L. What you do is you put a note in front of the line item that you want to explain, and then the entire detail will be mentioned in an explanatory note that will be annexed to the financial statement. So the financial statement now that you get after the application of Companies Act 2013 will be a more simplified financial statement. Like on the face it will be very clear and crisp. Now the last thing in the chapter that we see will be the responsibility and the penalty. Now the responsibility and the penalty goes in hand as was applicable in section 128. So even over here the responsibility for the compliance of this section rests with the managing director, the whole-time director who is in charge of the finance particularly, the chief financial officer, or any other person of the company who is charged by the board with such duty. These were the 4 people who were referred in section 128 also. But over here what we add on is all the other directors. In the absence of any of the officers that have been mentioned above, that have been mentioned in section 128 also, if all of them are absent, then the power goes to all the directors in the board. And even the penalty lies the same, right? If there is a non-compliance, then there's an imprisonment of 1 year or fine up to 50,000 or 5 lakh, or both. So to look in detail the penalties, because you have to remember, you may be asked in the exam to quote the penalties. So there are 4 basic people who will be penalized, who have been given the responsibility, that is the MD of the company, the whole-time director, chief financial officer, and the person in charge whom the board has elected by passing a resolution in the board meeting, right? And if all of these officers, the MD, WTD, CFO and the person in charge, all of them are absent, then the power vests with all other directors of the company, right? And if they are at fault, then they will be penalized with an imprisonment which may extend to the maximum of 1 year, or they may be penalized with a monetary fine which will range between 50,000 to 5 lakh rupees, or even both of it will be applicable to the person in default. And we remember in the previous slide we have also mentioned that the accounting standards would override the Schedule 3 at all times. So with this, we'll bring this lecture to an end. This is Abhinay Gupta signing off for the day. Thank you so much.